श्रोतृभ्यः स्वागतम्। आदौ वाक्यद्वयं संस्कृते उक्त्वा तदनन्तरम् आङ्ग्लभाषया वक्तुमारभे। अनुराधा तत्र भगवत्पादैः बहवो ग्रन्थाः विरचिताः। तेषु अन्यतमो ग्रन्थः शतश्लोकी इति। तं ग्रन्थमधिकृत्य सम्प्रति पाठः प्रचलिष्यति। आदौ भगवत्पादवन्दनं कृत्वा एकेन श्लोकेन तदनु कक्ष्या आरभ्यते। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। यं गुरुं हि स्वयं सत्यः प्रज्ञाभक्तिविनीतयः दीप्तिश्चाविवृताः सत्यं तं गुरुं प्रणमाम्यहम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। We all know that the edifice of Advaita Vedanta stands on three pillars. The three pillars are generally referred to as Prasthanatraya. So one is Upanishad Prasthanam, the other is Sutra Prasthanam, essentially Brahma Sutra, and the third is Gita Prasthanam. So this Prasthanatraya constitutes the fundamental text for Advaita Vedanta, in fact even other Vedantas. The major contribution of Bhagavad-pada lies in writing wonderful commentaries to all the three prasthanas. But for the commentary that has been authored by Bhagavad-pada, it would have been almost impossible for anybody to understand one of the prasthanas, if not all the three. Upanishad prasthanas, some mantras are quite harder than other mantras, and some of the mantras can be easily understood, and Bhagavad Gita is all the more simple compared to the other texts. It is the Sutra Prasthana which is extremely difficult, and Bhagavad-pada has blessed it with a wonderful commentary. The introduction to the Sutra Prasthana that has been given by Bhagavad-pada, which is referred to as Adhyasa Bhashya, is one of the finest intellectual contributions that has been ever made in this universe, and this is something which is accepted by all philosophers of all times. This major contribution of Bhagavad-pada has been beautifully narrated in one shloka. Vyaso darishayati sma sutra kalitan nyayaughratnavalihi. Repeat. Vyaso darishayati sma sutra kalita nyayaughratnavalihi अर्थालाभवशात् नकैरपि बुधैः एता गृहीताश्चिरम् अर्थाप्त्या सुलभाभिराभिरधुना अर्थाप्त्या सुलभाभिराभिरधुना ते मंडिताः पंडिताः
ते मंडिताः
पंडिताः ते मंडिताः पंडिताः
ते मंडिताः पंडिताः
व्यासश्चापकृतार्थताम्
व्यासश्चापकृतार्थताम्
यतिपतेः औदार्यमाश्चर्यकृत्
कार्यमाश्चर्यकृत्.
So this is a beautiful verse which has been composed to highlight the significance of the contribution that has been made by Bhagavad Pada. So we'll just spend about 5-10 minutes on this verse before we get into Shatashloki in order to appreciate the intellectual contribution that has been made. So it is said, Vyaso darishayatisma. So Vyasa was basically showing the garland of the Brahma Sutras. Sutra Kalitanyayogha Ratnavalihi. There are Sanskrit lovers who have registered, I know. So they would really appreciate this verse. Sutra Kalitanyayogha Nyayogha means the assembly of Nyayas. Brahma Sutra is basically a text which has been authored in order to help people to get clarity on those mantras which are likely to be misinterpreted. So here it is said, Sutra Kalitanyayogha Ratnavalihi. He was showing this garland. Arthalabhavashat. Here there is a pun. Arthalabhavashat means, so since they did not have artha to purchase this Ratnavali. Understand? So artha means meaning. So since people could not get the meanings of those sutras, they cannot purchase that garland. Since people did not have money to purchase that, they did not purchase that garland. So arthalabhavashat nakairapi budhaihi. For a long time, so nobody was willing to purchase that garland. Yeta grihitaschchiram. Then he says, arthaptya. Now Shankara Bhagavad Pada came and then provided the arthas for those sutra. So the artha should be understood as artha in the monetary sense to purchase those garlands. Arthaptya sulabhabhiraviradhuna. Now they got the artha, they could purchase that garland and all the panditas could wear that garland. Now they are shining because of the artha which was provided by Shankara Bhagavad Pada. Then they say, Vyasaschapa kritarthatam. Yatipate audaryamascharyakrut. Yatipate audaryam. Yatipati here refers to Shankara. Audaryam means generosity, the magnanimity. So the magnanimity and generosity which Shankara Bhagavad Pada, the nobility which he showed by sharing this artha with people, has made many panditas really blessed. And the point I wanted to convey was, but for the interpretation that has been given by Shankara Bhagavad Pada to these sutras which are quite terse, it would be almost impossible for anybody to decipher the meaning of the sutras. One may do for Bhagavad Gita, one may do for Upanishads to some extent, but it would have been absolutely impossible. So that is one of the greatest blessings that Shankara Bhagavad Pada has given. The other important thing that one needs to understand about this contribution is, there may be some Upanishad mantras which may be presenting views which are apparently contradicting to each other, and the sutras essentially have been authored to resolve those contradictions. So the major contribution of Shankara lies in trying to provide a grand unified theory for all the Upanishads and trying to resolve any doubts that may arise in the mind of the seeker as he tries to understand the Upanishads. Of course, Bhagavad Gita has a beautiful commentary which many of us know. So this Prasthanatraya Bhashya is one of the major things that he has done. Besides the Prasthanatraya Bhashya, which may not be very easily understandable for people, to get the essence of Vedanta, So he has also written a lot of works which are Prakarana Granthas, as they call it. So this Prakarana Granthas include some of the well-known Prakaranas like Viveka Chudamani. It also includes what is called Upadesha Sahasri. The Prakarana starts from one verse to almost 1,000. Okay? So one verse, there is something called Ekashloki, there is something called Dashashloki, there is something called Shatashloki which we are going to study now. So there is something called Viveka Chudamani which has about 600 verses. So there is something called Upadesha Sahasri. All of them are Prakaranas essentially to help people understand the essence of Advaita Vedanta. So then we also have what are called stotras. So these are the three major things. One is commentaries, exhaustive commentaries. The other is independent prakaranas. The independent works is of two types. One is prakarana, the other is stotras. So stotras starting from Ganesha Pancharatna to Saundar Lahari, Shivananda Lahari and so on and so forth. Okay. So this is the major contribution which caters to the need of all sections of society, which has been made by Shankara Bhagavad-pada, and therefore we call him Shankaram Shankaracharyam. So Shankaram means one who has blessed the entire humanity through his intellectual contribution. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krito Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punaha. Now we will start the first verse of Shatashloki. The Shatashloki essentially consists of 101 verses, and the first shloka is in the form of Guru Vandanam. Or rather, the Mahatmya of Guru has been brilliantly brought out by Shankara in the first verse. Shatashloki has been composed in a meter which is called Sraddhara, which has 21 syllables. So I will say the verse, you will repeat, then we will look into the meanings of the verse. Drishtanto naiva drishtaha.
Drishtanto naiva drishtaha. Drishtanto naiva drishtaha.
Tribhuvana jathare.
Tribhuvana jathare. Tribhuvana jathare.
Sadguror jnanadatuhu.
Sadguror jnanadatuhu. Sadguror jnanadatuhu.
Sparishaschet tatra kalpyaha.
Sparishaschet tatra kalpyaha. Sparishaschet tatra kalpyaha.
Sanayati yadaho.
Sanayati yadaho. Sanayati yadaho.
Svarnatam ashmasaram.
Swarnatam ashmasaram. Swarnatam ashmasaram.
Nasparishatvam tathapi.
Nasparishatvam tathapi. Nasparishatvam tathapi.
Shritacharana yuge.
Shrutacharana yuge. Shrutacharana yuge.
Sadguru sviya shishye.
Sadguru sviya shishye. Sadguru sviya shishye.
Sviyam samyam vidhatte.
Sviyam samyam vidatte. Sviyam samyam vidatte.
Bhavati nirupamaha.
Bhavati nirupamaha. Bhavati nirupamaha.
Tena va laukikopi.
Tena va laukikopi. Tena va laukikopi.
So this is one of the longest meters which is available in the Sanskrit literature, which has been adopted by Shankara Bhagavad-pada to convey this Advaita Vedanta in this form of Prakarana. Sraddhara basically consists of 21 syllables per quarter, and it is divided into 3 parts each quarter. So at 7 syllables there will be a Yati Bhanga. Drishtanto naiva drishtaha. The opening statement that he makes is Drishtanto naiva drishtaha. I have never found a simile for what is the question. Okay? Drishtantaha. In fact, Drishtanta is one of the padarthas which has been listed in the first Nyaya Sutra. So some of you might have studied this Nyaya Sutra. The first sutra, Pramana Prameya Samshaya Prayojana Drishtanta Siddhanta Avayava Tarka Nirnaya Vadajalpa Vitanda Hetvabhasa Chalajadi Nigrahasthananam Tattvajnanan Nishreyasadhigamaha. So in this Nyaya Sutra, he basically lists 16 entities. Of them, the fifth entity is Drishtanta. What do you mean by Drishtanta? By Drishtanta, we understand something which has been employed in order to explain how the other thing which is not well known. Okay? So, Drishtaha Antaha Yena. Antaha here means Nishchayaha. Okay? That is how we need to understand. So, Drishtanta. So, Drishtantaha Naiva Drishtaha. So, I have never seen a simile is the opening statement. To whom? Naiva Drishtaha. Where did you search for the simile? Tribhuvana Jathare. I have searched in all the three words. For whom? Sadguror Jnanadatuhu. Sadguroho Jnanadatuhu. Sadguroho Jnanadatuhu. The Sadguru who blesses me with the knowledge, for him I could never ever find a simile. So this is the opening statement. Drishtanto naiva drishtaha tribhuvana jathare sadguror jnanadatuhu. In fact, Drishtanta has been nicely defined as Laukika Parikshakanam Yasmin Arthe Buddhi Samyam Sadrishtantaha. This is the sutra in Gautama's Nyaya Sutra. Laukika Parikshakanam. So there are two names which have been listed. In fact, people can be broadly divided into two groups. Even in our writings we say this is meant for layperson, this is meant for scholars. You understand? So that is what is referred to by the term Laukika and Parikshaka. See, Laukika Parikshakanam Yasmin Arthe Buddhi Samyam Sadrishtantaha. See, Laukika, who is a Laukika and who is a Parikshaka? So in fact, he nicely defines Laukika and Parikshaka in his commentary, this Vatsyayana. He says, Naisargikaha Vainayiko va Buddhyatishayaha Yasmin Nasti Saha Laukika. How do you define a layperson? A layperson is generally defined as someone who is unable to think, analyze things. So we just receive things as it comes to. Okay? So which means, in other words, Buddhyatishayaha Yasmin Nasti. This is how the Sanskrit term goes. Buddhyatishayaha means you can understand it to be intelligence. Okay? So intelligence is a certain power with which you are blessed with to acquire knowledge as well as to apply the knowledge that you have acquired, right? Or any skills for that matter. So that is how you understand the term intelligence. Now this layperson, so Laukikaha, so here he says Naisargikaha Buddhyatishayaha. In fact, he may not be a trained person in some school or some engineering college, but he may be intelligent on his own. There are several people who are very intelligent, who would not have entered the corridors of schools. So, Naisargikaha Buddhyatishayaha or Vainayikaha Buddhyatishayaha Yasmin Nasti Yatra Nasti. Okay? Sapurushaha Laukikaha. Understand? Loke Bhavaha means generally available. Laukikaha. So Vainayikaha means, the word Naya actually means Shastra. See, Nayatiti. So the one which leads you how to lead your life, gives you the direction. So Nayaha means Shastra. So Vainayikaha, so Vinayaha, in fact Visheshato Nayati, you can just understand. And Vainayika, so is basically thak pratyaya will be there. Okay. So this thak pratyaya is used in the sense of possessing that. Okay. So Vainayikaha, so essentially means the one who has received a certain training in a particular discipline to think and analyze, which is what many of us are now. So this Naisargikaha, native intelligence, the other is nurtured intelligence. So this nurtured intelligence by the study of Shastra is what we call as Vainayikaha Buddhyatishayaha. So now Drishtanta is a padartha which is employed to explain something. So this is like this. In fact, it is a very, very beautiful way of making people understand. That is why it is considered as one of the most important padarthas. In trying to transfer knowledge, we always give some simile. Okay? So this Drishtantaha is one of the most important elements which is employed in order to easily transfer knowledge. And what can be employed as Drishtanta has been beautifully analyzed in our Shastras. If you possess your Drishtanta, then you should carefully see that the Drishtanta satisfies certain things. That is why here the Sutra says, so this Laukika Parikshakanam Yasmin Arthe Buddhi Samyam means this Drishtanta that has been employed by you should be acceptable to a scholar also. If both Laukikas and the scholars accept one entity as possessing similarity, so then that becomes a Drishtanta. Otherwise it is Vishamaha Drishtantaha, Samaha Drishtantaha. If you provide a wrong simile, the whole argument will be knocked off. Because you have not even understood the process and you have cited some example. So this is one of the logical rigors. So in Nyaya philosophy. Anyway, we will keep that aside. Now Shankara says, this is a very important statement, that's why I am saying Drishtanto Naiva Drishtaha. It is not an eulogizing Guru, but having clearly understood the role played by Guru, he is saying that I am unable to find a Drishtanta in all the three words. Drishtanto Naiva Drishtaha Tribhuvana Jathare Sadguror Jnanadatuhu. Then he proves his own statement by trying to cite something. So why not we consider this as Drishtanta? And there the object which is chosen is Sparishaschet Tatra Kalpyaha. Sparisha is a kind of a special stone which is referred to in the literature, whose property is to transform some element which is worthless into a highly valuable element. Okay? So it is supposed to convert a piece of metal or anything that is kept on it into gold. Okay? So Sparishaschet Tatra Kalpyaha. Kalpyaha means if you were to think of presenting Sparisha as an example of the role that is played by Sadguru, then he says, partially it may be true, but Parikshakas cannot accept it. Laukikas can accept it. Sparishaschet Tatra Kalpyaha. What is the role played by the Guru? A student who does not know anything, who does not understand something, he is turned into a worthy person by providing wonderful knowledge that is required for him to move forward in the life. Okay? So this is the role that is played. Similarly, the Sparisha basically transforms some worthless element into a highly valuable element. Therefore, the role played by the Guru can be compared with the Sparishamani. So this is the understanding. Sparishaschet Tatra Kalpyaha. Let us assume that Sparisha can be cited as example for the role played by the Guru. There he says, Sanayati Yadaho Swarnatam Ashmasaram. The word Ashma means a boulder, rock, mountain, stone, etc. But Ashmasara is basically iron. Okay? Ashmasaram. Okay? Sparishaschet Tatra Kalpyaha. Sanayati Yadaho. Aho is a Ascharya. Okay? Sanayati Yadaho Swarnatam Ashmasaram. But then the Parikshaka comes here, so and then says, this cannot be really taken as an example because the major property that is done by the Guru, okay, towards the Shishya, okay, the quality that is blessed by the Guru to the Shishya is not done by Sparsha. Okay. Nasparishatvam tathapi. So Sparsha makes the iron piece into gold. But Sparsha does not give the property of turning an iron into a gold. You understand? That gold piece, which has been brought out by placing an iron on the Sparsha, does not possess the property of turning another iron piece into gold. So this is what is called Sparishatvam. You should understand. So Gauhu refers to some cow. Gotvam refers to a certain property that resides in all the cows. So Manushya is a human being. Manushyatvam is a property that resides in all human beings. Now Sparsha transforms this, but Sparishatvam that is referred to here is the ability to transform. But the ability to transform a tinsel into a gold is not available with the gold that is already transformed. But in the case of the Sadguru, the Shishya who has been trained by Sadguru has also picked up the knowledge by which he will be able to transform another Shishya into Guru. Okay? Nasparishatvam tathapi Shrita Charana Yuge. Shrita Charana Yuge refers to the quality which the Shishya should possess. Okay? Shrita Charana Yuge, the devotion, etc., is all captured by the term Shrita Charana Yuge. What does the Guru do? Sadguruhu Sviya Sishye. In his Shishya, Sviyam Samyam Vidhatte. Sviyam Samyam Vidhatte means he makes this Shishya also as a Sadguru. Sviyam Samyam Vidhatte Bhavati Nirupamaha. And therefore the Parikshaka concludes that there is actually no simile for the Sadguru. Sviyam Samyam Vidhatte Bhavati Nirupamaha Tena. Tena means Tena Hetuna. Because this Parishatvam is not given by the Sparishamani to the iron piece, but the Gurutvam is given by the Shishya, by the Guru, and therefore this Guru becomes Nirupamaha. Sviyam Samyam Vidhatte Bhavati Nirupamaha Tenava Alaukikopi. The phrase that you find towards the end of the verse, which they call as Alaukikopi, which has been described as Alaukikopi, should be understood clearly. So there are two ways to understand this. One is to take this as an adjective to the Drishtanta. Okay. So Drishtanta, as I told you, is some familiar instance by which you make the non-familiar thing familiar. Right? So you cite some entity, give some familiar instance by which a non-familiar entity is also made familiar to you. So this Drishtanta can be Laukika Drishtanta, sometimes it can be Alaukika Padartha also. For instance, suppose you want to describe how that area is. So this person, how the Hiranandani looks like, how the apartments are there. So then if this fellow is coming from, let us say, New York, not with Corona, so then you will call this person and then say, so this is almost like downtown in New York. Okay. So this is a Laukika Drishtanta which you can think of. Okay. But there are certain things which are not understood. There is nothing like Laukika For instance, punya, papa, etc. So for which you may not be able to provide. So there are some alaukika padarthas, there are some laukika padarthas. So this punya, papa, etc. which we have are abstract entities which are supposed to lead us to heaven or hell. Okay. Now both heaven and hell or the cause which may take us to heaven and hell, both are alaukikas. We don't know. Now if you want to describe how beautiful the place is, sometimes we use the word heaven and hell. Who has visited that? But it is a metaphor which is being used by us. So sometimes we invoke alaukika padarthas also as drishtanta to explain something. So it is understood by us, okay, in abstract way. So here this parishamani which has been stated here, so many of us would not have seen a stone which transforms something into gold. Okay. So this alaukikopi drishtantaha nasti, laukikopi drishtantaha nasti, that is implied. Okay, we can understand it that way. The other way to understand this, so tenava nirupamaha apitu alaukikaha. Okay, so you can describe Guru as alaukikaha. Alaukikaha means something who is beyond. Okay, so this is what is understood by the term. So alaukikaha kaschana padarthaha. Okay. Alaukika padarthaha means you should treat with great reverence, etc., etc., as you treat adrishta and so on. Okay? So this is how the phrase alaukika can be understood in two ways as far as this verse is concerned. In fact, this Sadguru, the quality, okay, Sadguru who. So this has been stated in various ways. Some of you would have read some Guru Gita and so on, where the glory of Guru has been stated. There is an interesting verse, Guravassanti Bahavaha.
Guravassanti Bahavaha, Guravassanti Bahavaha,
Shishya Vittapaharakaha,
Shishya Vittapaharakaha,
Shishya Vittapaharakaha, Guravassanti Bahavaha. Okay. Durlabhas Sagururloke, Sagururloke, Durlabhas Sagururloke, Shishya Hrittapaharakaha,
Shishya Hrittapaharakaha,
Shishya Hrittapaharakaha. See, there is a very interesting statement which is made in this. The term Vitta refers to, so this wealth, okay. So what this verse says is, it may be very easy to find lot of gurus who are Vittapaharakaha. Nowadays, so there are some students from Purdue here who would have entered the corridors of IIT, but before entering the corridors of IIT, they would have gone to some coaching classes. The first thing that they have to do is pay. So 50,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees and so on. They are all, those gurus are Vittapaharakas. Understand? Vittapaharaka means one who first away, right in the beginning, snatches the wealth. There are so many people who snatch the wealth. So Guravassanti Bahavaha, Shishya Vittapaharakaha. But Durlabhassa Gururloke is extremely difficult to find a guru. Shishya Hrittapaharakaha. There are two versions of this. Shishya Chittapaharakaha is one version. The other version is Shishya Hrittapaharakaha. So Chittapaharakaha is also a nice phrase. See, you may not remember many teachers whom you have studied with, but there are certain teachers whom you will never forget. Okay, so those teachers can be described as Chittapaharakaha. Means they have so grabbed your chitta. You understand? So that you cannot forget them. So that is, in that sense, Chittapaharakaha. But Chittapaharakas can be in very many ways. Okay, not necessarily by providing knowledge which is useful for life. So there are various gurus, okay, so who can be Chittapaharakas in various ways. Not necessarily by providing you this vidya which will lead you to vimukti. So therefore the other phrase that is used is Shishya Hrit Tapaharakaha. Tapaharakaha means, so the agony that you are experiencing within you, okay, so the despondency that you are experiencing within you, so that is something which is grabbed by the teacher. Shishya Hrit Tapa. Hrit Tapa is something which is evident only to the individual. So it is not evident like this corona temperature. See, this Hrit Tapa, so, asymptomatic. So, Shishya Hrit Tapa Harakaha. So, this Tapa can be Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika, Adhidaivika. There are various kinds of tapas. So, the one who is, even the lack of knowledge, I mean, if you are very sincere, if you cannot understand something, that can cause a lot of pain in you unless you crack it out. So, the Guru, by providing the right knowledge, by providing the right kind of understanding, he is able to take you through not only the scriptures but all through your life. Therefore, Shishya Hrit Tapaharakaha. So, Durlabhas Guru Loke. And that Guru is whom we normally call as Sadguru. In fact, the term Sat is not necessarily required because there is nothing like Asad Guru. Asad Guru is only some dushta. Okay? So that is Shishya Vittapaharaka. But anyway, because there are all kinds of people, so sometimes we use the word Sadguru. Okay? Shishya Hrittapaharakaha. Tell the sloka. Guravassanti Bahavaha.
Guravassanti Bahavaha. Guravassanti Bahavaha.
Shishya Vittapaharakaha.
Shishya Vittapaharakaha. Shishya Vittapaharakaha.
Durlabhassa Gurur Loke.
Durlabhassa Gurur Loke. Durlabhassa Gurur Loke.
Shishya Hrittapaharakaha.
Shishya Hrittapaharakaha. Shishya
Harakaha. In fact, there is a beautiful verse which talks about the quality of Guru, okay, in Viveka Chudamani. Okay, so how is he able to snatch away the tapa? So there it says, Shanta Mahanto Nivasanti Santaha. Shanta Mahanto Nivasanti Santaha. Shanta Mahanto
Nivasanti Santaha.
Vasantavallokahitam charantaha.
Vasantavallokahitam charantaha. Vasantavallokahitam charantaha.
Tirnasvayam bhima bhavarnavam janan. Tirnaha. Tirnasvayam bhima bhavar. Tirnasvayam.
Tirnasvayam. Tirnasvayam.
Bhima bhavarnavam janan.
Bhima bhavan.
Bhima bhavarnavam janan.
Bhima bhavarnavam janan.
Ahetunanyana pitarayantaha. Ahetunanyana pitarayantaha. Ahetunanyana pitarayantaha. See, the point is, so it is only conceiving of these gurus that Bhagavad Pada has introduced this very important verse. So that verse basically tells Shantaha. Unless they maintain a certain tranquility within themselves, it will be almost impossible for the person to help the other people to reach this tranquil state. Shantaha, by nature. Mahantaha, nivasanti santaha. Vasantaval lokahitam charantaha. Like the Vasanta Rutu, lokahitam charantaha. Tirna swayam bhima bhavarnavam janan. Bhima bhavarnavam, the samsara, the swayam tirnaha, having crossed this, tirna swayam bhima bhavarnavam. So bhava refers to samsara, arnava refers to ocean, bhima refers to something terrible. So having crossed themselves this terrible ocean of samsara, tirna swayam bhima bhavarnavam janani. They also help the others to cross over the samsara. Okay? Ahetuna. So, and there is no expectation of this guru, okay, when he shares this right knowledge with the people. Ahetuna jnana pitarayantaha. Ahetuna jnana pitarayantaha. Shanta mahanto nivasanti santaha. Vasanta valloka hitam charantaha. Tirna swayam bhima bhavandavam janani. Ahetuna jnana vitarayantaha. In fact, he further goes and beautifully explains, Ayam swabhavaha swatayeva yat parashramapanodha pravanam mahatmanam. So it is in the nature of these sadhus to help people to cross over this samsara. Ayam swabhavaha swatayeva. Okay? It is not induced for some reason in them. Swatayeva yat parashramapanodha pravanam mahatmanam. And then he compares Sudham Shuresha Swayamarka Karkasha Prabha Bhikaptam Avatikshitim Kile. So the light that is being shed by the Guru is compared to the light that is being shed by the beautiful moon. In fact, if you are experiencing summer, we have just started now. So if you are able to see the moon, okay, a Purnima day, so then we will be able to see the beauty of that moonlight and the kind of coolness that is present. So similarly, the Guru, by his wise words, is able to make the mind of the person which is boiling to come to some cool temperature. So this is what is meant by Hrittapaharakaha. Okay? Ahetuna jnana pitarayantaha. There is one more beautiful verse which is describing the same process. Karnadharam gurum prapya.
Karnadharam gurum prapya. Karnadharam gurum prapya.
This is from Yoga Shakhopanishad. Karnadharam gurum prapya.
Karnadharam gurum prapya.
Karnadharam gurum prapya. Tadvakyam plavavadridham.
Tadvakyam plavavadridham. Tadvakyam plavavadridham. Tadvakyam plavavadridham.
Then what do we have? Tadvakyam plavavadridham. Abhyasavasana shaktya.
Abhyasavasana shaktya. Abhyasavasana shaktya.
Taranti bhavasagaram.
Taranti bhavasagaram. Taranti bhavasagaram.
Here there is a beautiful simile. See, this word Karnadhara refers to the oarsman. So Karna has various meanings. Karna means this ear through which we hear. So Karna also means hypotenuse in mathematical works. So Karna here refers to the oar that is being used. Okay. So by the boatsman, by which he moves the water and then takes the boat forward. Okay. So Karnadharaha refers to the oarsman. Karnadharam gurum prapya. See, the word Karna refers to oars and therefore Karnadhara the oarsman, okay, boatman. So having obtained the Guru as a Karnadhara, Karnadharam Gurum Prapya Tadvakyam. There is a beautiful message in this. So that's why I thought I will just say it. By simply listening, it doesn't really help. So one has to, in fact, my father's teacher. So once I was learning some Nyaya Shastra from him. So this is about 25 years back. So once he was saying, always I found this teacher. So he was almost 83, 84 years old then. So he will be sitting in front of his house with a small book in his hand. So that to teach something to me. So he would have taught this some 25 times in his life. And he is exceptional scholar. Still, he would be just referring to this text and then keeping that he will be glancing through. Then I was asking him once, so why are you having this text? So then he was saying, so there are two things that are required, okay, for the knowledge transfer to be complete and successful. So he said, so in Tamil he was saying, Vadyar munnadi pusthakathai padikkanum, Shishyan pinnadi pusthakathai padikkanum. Means the teacher should be reading the book before he takes the class, and the student should be reading the book after he attends the class. So if either of them is not happening, then that knowledge transfer will not be complete. This is what he was saying. So here this verse basically beautifully conveys that message. See, Karnadharam Gurum Prapya. Then the second quarter of the verse says, Tadvakyam Plavavadridham. The word Plava means boat. Okay, Plavaha. So Plava means boat. Now, here, so there is a beautiful metaphor that the Shishya is sitting in the boat and the Guru is like Karnadhara. So it is a nice simile. So Taranti Bhavasagaram is what we are talking about. So in order to cross over, so you need to travel through the boat, right? So you need to travel through the boat. So here the boatman, the oarsman should be obviously a skilled person. So otherwise both of us will drown. So that is one aspect anyway, that is, take it for granted. Now what should the Shishya do? So the Shishya, Tadvakyam Plavavat is very interesting. So Plava means, so if the boatsman is skilled, that is not sufficient. So suppose there is a little turbulence and you are sitting in a small boat. So you should strongly hold yourself to the boat, to the plank of the boat. Understand? If you do not hold, then you may be toppled down. Understand? So Tadvakyam means the Vakya of the Guru is compared to the boat and you should hold it strongly. You understand? Tadvakyam Plavavat Dridham Prapya. Dridham Prapya means there are two aspects. One is understanding it thoroughly. See, Karka Kasadara Karpavai. Okay? So that should be understood thoroughly is one aspect. And having understood, it has to be contemplated by you. Manana and Nididhyasana are also required. Okay? So Tadvakyam Plavavadridham. So that Manana Nididhyasana is basically conveyed in the third quarter. He says Abhyasa Vasana Shaktya. See, many of you would have been familiar with the word Vasana. So Vasana is, normally we say, so Sadvasana, Asadvasana, etc. Right? So if this person has a natural inclination to, so read Ramayana, read Bhagavad Gita, etc., then we say Sadvasana. If he has a natural inclination to only to listen to rock music, etc., then some Asadvasana. Okay. So this is how the Vasanas are generally understood. But the point is, Vasana essentially means something which is permanently lodging in your mind, which is driving you, which gives the impulse for you to engage in some activity. Now, Vasyate Aneneti Vasana. This is how one has to understand. Okay? So that which is sort of deeply lodged, okay? So securely lodged into your mind is what is referred to as Vasana. Here, what is being stated is Abhyasa vasana is a beautiful usage. So this abhyasa is, so having studied all the scriptures, we should be repeating them. Okay, the ideas that have been shared with Guru have to be repeatedly thought over by us. So abhyasa vasana. So this abhyasa itself should be the vasana. So the power that is gained by abhyasa. In fact, even, so there are some fellows who are here, so for clearing this daily, they would have worked out the similar kind of problems, some 20 problems or 25 problems or 200 times. Okay, this is again some vasana, abhyasa vasana. Okay, so abhyasa vasana shaktiya. So the power that is gained, okay, through this abhyasa vasana, taranti bhavasagaram, one will be able to be cross over the ocean. In fact, so this is Shatashloki is a very, very beautiful work which nicely brings in the essence of Vedanta in about 100 verses. Okay, so the first verse is basically Guru Mahatmyam, as I was trying to explain to you. So the second verse so also talks about the Shishya Mahatmyam. In fact, we will see that in the next class. But before we disperse, so we will chant this verse once, and I can give you some 5 minutes if you have some query to ask. And I don't know how this can be governed through Zoom. Anyway, if anybody wants to ask some question, they can raise the hand and our Surya Narayana will control. But before doing that, let us all chant this verse first together. Drishtanto naiva drishtaha tribhuvana jatare sadguro jnanadatuhu Parishasche tatra kalpyaha sanayadi yadaho swarnatam ashnasaram nasparishatvam tatha vishrita yuge sadguru sviya sishye sviyam samyam vidhatte bhavati drupamaha yenava lokikopi.
Whoever wants to ask a question can unmute themselves.
Okay.
And can ask.
Okay.
Hariyanji has raised the hand. You can please unmute yourself. I'm unmuted.
That was clapped. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Devraj ji.
Namaskaram. Can we consider this as Vastu Nirdesha Rupa Mangalam?
This can be considered as Guru Vandanatmakam Mangalam. This Vastu Nirdesha, because this Advaita, the theme of Advaita has not been communicated in this verse. So this Advaita,
okay.
So if the Sara of that has been conveyed in this, so then you can call it as Vastu Nirdesha. Yad Vastu Pratipadyate Tasya Nirdesha Kriyate Ched Vastu Nirdesha. Atadu Kevalam Guroho Mahima Varnita. Guroho Mahimayaha Varnanena Sviya Adaraha Gurum Prati Suchitaha. Ataha Guru Vandanatmakam Mityeva Vaktum Yuktam.
Please repeat the chandas. Kindly type Please repeat the chandas name.
Chandas name is basically Sraddhara. In fact, those who are keen to know the definition, I can straight away give that. So you can note down or later listen to it perhaps. It is called the Sraddhara. Sraddhara. A 21 syllabled meter. The definition of this meter goes as Mrabhnair Yanam Trayena Trimuniyati Yuta Sraddhara Kirtiteyam. Mrabhnaihi Yanam Trayena. So there are various ganas called Yagana, Magana, Tagana, Ragana and so on. So Mra refers to first Magana, then Ra, Mrabhnaihi, then Bhagana, then Nagana. So Magana, Ragana, Bhagana, Nagana. So there are 4 ganas. This constitutes 12 syllables. Each gana is 3 syllables. Okay. Mrabhnaihi. Then it says Yanam Trayena. So 3 aganas follow. So 12 plus 9, you get 21. So that is how this Sraddhara meter is constituted of. And of the 21 syllables, so one has to give a pause at the end of 7th syllable. So that is also indicated here in the verse. Trimuni Yati Yuta. So Yati is the term that they use to refer to the pause which is given while rendering the verse. So Trimuni Yati Yuta Sraddhara Kirtiteyam. If you look at this definition is also in Sraddhara meter. So as I chant, you can see I am giving 3 passes. Mrabhnairyanam yutena Trimuni Yati Yuta Sraddhara Kirtiteyam. So this is the definition of Sraddhara, which constitutes 21 syllables. It is a Akshara Vritta.
I don't see any other question.
Okay. If the session is over, so we will just conclude with Mangala. Okay. Om Sarve Bhasikinas Santu Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Vashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om पश्यामः महान् सन्तोषः
पश्यामः
तपस्वी आरब्धवान्
श्री पश्यामः
एवम् आराधना हरिहरन् गोपाल शिवकुमार
थैंक यू सर
ओके वेरी गुड